Welcome to this webinar about the SAM tool implementation and the challenges and pitfalls you might face during implementation. My name is Martijn Braamskamp. I'm a consultant at Softline Solutions. I am together here with Jimmy from Flexera. Jimmy will give a short introduction about himself later on in the webinar when we get to the demo part. I work at Softline for about 6 years now. Softline Solutions is an independent software asset management integrator. We are independent from software vendors, so we do not sell any licenses from Microsoft or Oracle. And we focus for 100% on software asset management. So software asset management is really the only thing we do. We have been awarded by Flexera the EMEA Partner of the Year Award for 3 years in a row now. So it's a very important partner for us. And also we have been awarded a Best in Class SAM Managed Provider by Martijn of the Item Review. So look at the reasons for organizations to start with software asset management. It's the elimination of compliance risks. You do not want to be faced with a big audit and a big penalty fee, for example. You want to have control over your software costs. And of course, you want to be able to do effective software and license management. The implementation of software asset management is based on the ISO standard. We adapted the standard a few years ago, and we use this in all activities we do. The reason for choosing the ISO standard is because you can be certified for it, and it offers a step-by-step approach. As you can see in this picture, it starts with a tier 1, Trustworthy Data, and in the implementation of software asset management, you can add tiers until you reach tier 4, which is the full implementation of the ISO standard. Based on this ISO standard, we have developed the House of SAM. On the left side, you can see the same tiers, so tier 1 to tier 4, starting with Trustworthy Data. And we have divided the 4 tiers in 5 main focus areas, starting with asset transparency, which you see on the right side below. And it's all about getting the right transparency in your assets. And that's not only hardware and software assets, but also the contracts and the licenses you have. From that, you can go to trustworthy advice. So at the moment, when you know you have all your assets in scope, then you're able to give the organization advice about those assets. And when you have reached the tier 1 trustworthy advice, then you will be able to really save money. Because when I give you an overview, somebody in the organization will have to take action before you can have cost savings.
My name is Aldjah. I'm from Flexera Software. The first thing you log on is the management dashboard. It will give you an overview of your current position on licensing. Any compliance risks also it will show you on the dashboard. As you can see here, every tile will require your attention. Red means it's not good. It means there's out of compliancy. All these tiles are drilled down, except for a few which are only informational. That's primarily the payments overview. But let me refer back to the House of SAM that Martijn mentioned. Is the lower level to start with the trustworthy data. So in our tool, you can have all kinds of different data sources. And as Martijn also mentioned, you can have your own. you can use our agent. So if the organization doesn't have any inventory tool in place, FlexNet Manager Suite has its own agent technology to gather information for different platforms for desktop and for server, for the data center. But we also have several standard connectors for the mostly used inventory tooling such as SCCM, IBM, Altiris, and so on. Another part is the business data. So next to the inventory, it's also necessary to get your entitlements. So what you can do is you can upload your business entitlement data, such as purchasing data, your MLS sheet, or your, if you have IBM, your IBM Password Advantage. So this allows you to do it yourself, but we also have the ability with a component called Business Web Studio to automate this process. So once the inventory source is defined, you will get all your inventory in your system. Next step, when you have your data and your entitlement, it's also very important to have your contracts in place. The contracts also can have certain negotiations, and you can say, you know, well, I have certain product use rights I want to have defined within the negotiation. So once you have your entitlement data and you have your inventory, the license compliance, then we have this reconciliation engine, and it will then calculate each day what is your current optimized license position. And then the results will be on your management dashboard. Currently, there are 6 vendors out of compliance. Oracle is always the most expensive one, and then you see there are 2, the tuning tags and the databases. And then within the Oracle database, you also have different kinds of license types. For example, based upon Oracle processor or named user class. So let me go to the Oracle processor, and then you'll have the final level of details, which is the license itself. Let's get back to the management dashboard. So that's a view that gives you immediately out of compliance. One part is also applications that have been detected which are not associated or with the license, which means you're using commercial application which really requires a license, which is a compliance risk, or B, there's something you need to buy more licenses for the specific applications. So when you click on it, you'll get a list of all the application that's unlicensed. Out of the box, what the FlexNet Manager tool also does is it classifies the application. So usually, this is the complete list. So we have that commercial, component, freeware, malware, and so on. But it's the application of the classification type commercial that mainly requires a license. So those are the ones we need to focus on. In an optimal world, that bar should be 100%, meaning that all installations should be licensed, commercial ones. Another risk is a risk of overspending. So here you can see it's a threshold of 5%, meaning that 95% of the software is not used. And you'll get a list of all the applications in which you have too much licenses. So then you can determine whether you want to have changed that in the next negotiation with your vendor. Also, the capability of having an authorized list. So applications that are not allowed to be installed within the organization, and you can within the list of all the applications that have been found within your organization, all installed application, you have the ability then to choose what do you want to do with this application. So by default, it will be unmanaged, and then you have to decide, is this application authorized? Deferred means, we've got lots of things to do. We want to get some prioritization. So this, we know that we want to look at it, but at the time, so I will defer it. Ignores, you don't want to do anything about it. Inactive, it's no longer active, and you can be unauthorized for the blacklist. Also very important is to have a accurate reporting on your compliancy. Is, for example, if your device is missing inventory for more than 60 days. This is also important for mobility license rules, such as for Microsoft. For the 90 days, then you can then switch the license to someone else. Then you can see which machines don't have any inventory for a specific amount of days, which then from the process point of view can, to the operation can say, okay, let's check why this machine is not reporting any inventory.
Then I would like to thank you for your attention and attending this webinar. What I mentioned, please look at our website for future webinars, softlinesolutions.nl, softlinesolutions.be, for our Belgian website, and maybe we see each other in the future.